Welcome back to the channel and the final video on the 2018 Volkswagen Crafter. I know we left a 3-month gap in the last video and we didn't want that happening again. So Chris has actually just rolled straight on and stayed on with this one. I went out on the road and got some bits for it. It did only need one tyre, but when I arrived there, they had a matching pair that are like new, I think you'd agree. So I actually bought a pair of wheels and tyres for it. Chris is just going through all the light bulbs there, getting all the lights working. And of course, I've got the correct back light cluster, the correct back bumper, the bracket, the step, I want to say, that goes inside. And in the last video, I don't know if we mentioned it, I actually fitted all the catches and latches so that now the door does actually shut and it stays shut on its own, because all of those had been robbed off of it. We know that a lot of stuff has been nicked off of this one. So there's a lot more little jobs to do on it. Brake pad wear sensor, a bit of wiring, a couple of light bulbs. That light bulb, Chris, I had to go and buy that. It was £22 something that was. It's a DRL. So anyway, let's let Chris crack on with it. Straight to work he goes. And you know, I don't mind saying it, Chris has pretty much done this whole project from start to finish all by himself. There's just nothing that I could get involved in. I'm sure I'm going to help him a little bit later in this video, but for now he's cracking on with getting that quarter bumper fitted that I got for him. The parking sensor needed to go in that, and of course the bracket had been stolen that was underneath it, but they'd kindly put all the screws back in the locations where they need to go, so at least we didn't have to search for all new screws for it. It looks like he's got that one pretty much done. Straight onto the front bumper, there's an insert on there to do. So nice to see it getting to this stage now. So up in the air, and of course loads of more little bits of wiring and bits to do. I think along very nicely. So far so good. So the rear corner bumper is all on there, the parking sensors back in, the correct light cluster is now in the back of the light. We got that side loading door to contend with very shortly, and that is going to be very heavy to get on and off, but we'll manage it. We've got a new one out there for it. Front bumper step there Chris has put in, and the parking sensor as well. There is a little cover missing off the outside of that, but we're not too worried about that at the moment. And then moving on down here, he is fitting that new, I went and got a brand new brake pad wear sensor, and then this loom was actually ripped off and cut, so I got this patch loom out of another one, and Chris has obviously got to put a little join in it somewhere.
Yeah, it's only that piece.
Just that piece for the brake, the plug for the brake pad wear sensor. So we'll let him crack on with that, and once he's done that, I believe that we'll be at the stage where we can actually plug this in and try and clear down some of the faults it's got, because it has got a lot of faults, and of course it's got no power steering. Right, we'll let him get on and give it a go. It's to do. I think this particular section I've just popped out, gone to get Chris a new brake pad wear sensor, and the plug that actually holds the brake pad wear sensor had previously been cut off, or ripped off actually, in the accident. Of course this wheel was completely missing when we got this van, wasn't it? So he's getting that on there, soldered on, and then fit the brake pad wear sensor. Chris has done all of the wiring issues that was down there now and done everything else. We are going to move on to the diagnostic, try and get some steering back in this, some power steering, and also bang out some of these lights. There is a lot of lights on. Let's find the OBD, probably up underneath there somewhere. The other side. Get that plugged in and see if we can get some of these codes turned out, and hopefully all of the faults are gone. I've got it plugged in. We're going to do a health report, so we'll let that do its thing, and why that is, let's just make sure that is doing that. Processing, connecting, please wait. It should go into it okay. I'm just looking at, yeah, it is doing it now, 13%. We've got traction control light, this orange warning light, airbag light, and the steering light I am worried about, because that is red, and I think amber's not so bad, and then red is very bad. But this van has got a lot of codes, but we know a lot of parts have been stolen off of it and rung over, so a lot of stuff's been unplugged. Sorry mate, you're gonna have to play the nodding game because we've got no mics on. It's got a lot of faults, Chris.
Is it?
Yeah. Engine electronics 8 So power steering control module, no communication, sensors, but a lot of these did have damaged wiring that you've repaired.
Yeah.
Vehicle speed sensor, which is ABS, isn't it? Brake electronics, climate control, electric central electronics 18, but rear turn signal, all these lights, they'd all been messed around with, hadn't they?
Yeah.
And then distance regulation, data bus missing. Oh, I have noticed that steering light's red, Chris. Oh, airbag. So driver's side seatbelt tensioner, igniter, resistance too high.
Had the seat out.
Yes, we have, haven't we? Error. Instrument cluster 5, data bus. There's a lot of codes. Driver's door electronics, of course that's been off.
Yeah.
Should we
Clear.
Yeah.
Gonna have to, aren't you?
And I should think though that some of it is going to need looking into a bit further. It's might take a little while. I don't even know if we mentioned the mileage. Did we? 145,000.
Probably have in a previous.
But it was 3 months ago. Oh, mind you, we have airbag error. So we have still got a fault there with the airbag, but at least it's going to get rid of some of them. I'm going to stay here because we're in a good position and it's catching the whole screen. Right, these are the ones that come back. Power steering control module, no communication. Brake electronics, function restriction due to missing message. But I reckon they might go if you drive it.
Right.
Instrument cluster 1, data bus missing. Data bus OBD interface. Power steering control module, no communication. Crash shut off active. That's it. So I reckon, do you want to just hold that? I'll put that there for a sec. Let's cycle the ignition off. Key battery low. Please change. Stop start. Yeah, still no steering. So we're going to have to get underneath and have a look at the rack.
Yeah, because it.
We're not going to hear you, mate, because we've got no mics on. Shall I go and grab them?
Yeah, power steering control module, no. Let's into that, shall we? Yeah, don't tell us anything.
Let me go and grab them.
So, we have changed a little bit now since previously when I was recording. We wanted to charge the battery a little bit on the van, and Chris said, let the dog see the rabbit. Now, the other diagnostic machine wouldn't actually get into the particular parts that we wanted, and you blink with Chris and you miss it because he's just had a little play around with that Autel, and we're back.
We've got power steering.
We've got power steering. He's banged out every light, but we have got an airbag full.
And I'm just going into that now.
He's going into it because he's convinced, because he's had this seat out, he's not sent something all the way home or plugged in.
Go underneath it, aren't we?
Yeah, but mate, that's nice. Power steering, because last time you drove this, you was pulling on it with 2 hands trying to get it to turn out of the yard. So
that's a lot better, isn't it?
yeah, I guess you're just going to do the research on that airbag.
Yeah,
and
but
then
none of the airbags had gone off. Had
No.
they? Which is bizarre, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'll go into
I
that.
know you started pulling this off, just checking that everything's
Yeah,
plugged in.
yeah. So it's all in there.
You're going to have to get under that seat,
I think
mate.
so. Yeah. All right, mate.
All right, so you're there with it. You're going to
Yeah.
be moving on to painting that grille shortly.
Yeah, yeah. And we've got to do the side load door.
Oh yeah, that's gonna. Lucky we got Dan here.
Yeah.
Because it took 3 of us to get it off the
Yeah, it's
other
a
van.
big old lump.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
All right, mate. I'll let you get on.
Lovely.
Pat gets a nice cup of coffee. That is all prepared, and Chris is just knocking up the paint, and he's going to be in there for a little while painting that grille. So let's let him get on with that. Let's go and get a nice cup of coffee. And moving on to the front grille, bit of primer on there. Once that's on, let that dry. Give it another quick coat, and then Chris will get to some guide coat on there. We're not going to show that. He'll get it all flatted off and actually get it ready for some paint. There we go with the paint.
So as you see, Chris was a very busy boy there while I was out, and that is the front grille. All of those scratches completely gone now, so that's going to look lovely as well. And then just moving outside, this is the bit I think we've all been dreading.
Oh, that's heavy, isn't it?
We're definitely going to need Dan's help, because me and Chris have just been and got the new side loading door out the back of a Transit, and that was hard work carrying that across here.
We've got to get that one off and that one on, haven't we? And the wind's got up a bit. Believe it or not, it's quite tricky, isn't it? We've got a lot of wind resistance.
We got your pads, so we'll probably put those. Let's just open this up, shall we? We'll probably put those pads down here.
Yeah, once we've got that baby off.
Yeah, so that we're ready to jump to and fro between. But I think it's those two bolts there, Chris.
Yeah.
And then those two up there, and then it just unhooks out of this.
Yeah.
Because I was there to this back cover's got to come off. See this black piece?
Yep. Yep.
You've got to pull that off because it slides out.
Yeah.
And then you have to actually slide it.
So
it's the first one I've ever done, so it's...
Yeah, we'll do it. That'll be fine.
Should we get Dan up here to help us?
Yeah, we'll get that grill in first.
Yeah.
And then we'll crack on with that.
All right then, mate.
All right.
Let's do that. And it's that time to put the face on the van. So a bit of silicone along the front there, it does help, because these have got all little clips on them, and now I'll just push fit. So me on the passenger side, Chris on the front and the driver's side there, get it all pushed home. Driver's side, we need to take a screw out, get that pushed in, and then do the screw back up. And I think that is going to be it for the front end. Chris has already fitted the new wheel arch liner while I was out there. We got one of those new that arrived yesterday. Just got that screw out, got the grill in there, get that screw back done up, and I think job is a good one. So it did actually take 3 of us here. We had to go and give Dan a call. Getting it off was okay. So a little rubber bung out the end of the rubber, got that door removed, straight on with the new one, and me and Chris noticed the door wasn't sliding very nice. So the wheel on the back guide, one of the wheels was actually missing, but that was fine. We went and took it off of our original door, got that fitted on there, and it slid lovely. I'm going to say that looked like that was a long time changing that door, but Chris had a nightmare, had to change the rear latch.
Yes.
Because the spring-loaded part of it was so worn out, it just wouldn't work, and we couldn't get the door to latch. But he spent literally about an hour on that and managed to get it right. Yeah, lovely, mate. So, a lot of you are going to say, because I'm going to put it out there now, there is not going to be another video on this van.
No.
We're done. I think we've had enough. We have been promised a door for it and a rear door from a subscriber, but at the moment they can't take them from the vehicle at this precise moment. So our plan is, going forward, is to actually chuck them on at some point when they do come, and then we'll just list this on Instagram.
Yep.
We're going to have when I went and got the parts the other day, they had a pair of brand new tyres, so I actually put a pair of tyres on it. And then, that door, I mean, that's repairable.
It is. But, you know, kindly someone said we can have a door off of one. So.
That's right. And there's that. I mean, this all does need a bit of a clean-up as
well.
well.
It needs a lot of a clean, doesn't it?
And then that back door is actually a little bit twisted because of that dent.
It's popped it there, so we're not doing any more with that.
No. Overall, though, Chris, look at that van now.
Yeah.
It needs a good wash, a good clean, and I think it'd be lovely. But most importantly, the MOT is well and truly worn out on it.
So it needs an MOT.
And our good friend Josh at JR Vehicle Services has just opened his garage up as an MOT garage.
Oh, brilliant.
And he does class 4.
Yep.
So I've just rung up Josh and we've got this booked in. We're going to run it over there for a test. While we're out here, I'm going to be quick because Chris's mic is about to run out. Everyone keeps asking about this yard. Can we have a quick wander, mate, please?
If you want to.
We go round that way, shall we, and walk along? Or
can do.
Everyone keeps asking. I know Chris has put a few bits out on Instagram.
Yeah,
but for those of you that haven't got it, here it is.
Yeah, it's still work in progress, but we're getting nearer and nearer. So all the retaining walls finished now.
And the gabions.
We've topped that up with stone.
They look lovely. Not gabions, are they? Gabion
no,
stone.
They're kind of like a gabion though, aren't they? But a few people remember I got those galvanised panels from, they were being scrapped. I paid £5 each for them.
You had to pull them out of a skip, didn't you?
Out of a skip, yeah. So, and the posts are all second-hand reused as well.
That was
so
the mezzanine floor from Kent Auto
it
Salvage.
was, they were the uprights, so I've reduced them in height.
Let me come this side, Chris. We got you in shot.
I've
You're talking and
reduced
walking,
them in height and used them, and I think it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I haven't actually looked up here yet, but I've seen you and Dan up here, and it
Yeah.
is looking tidy.
Yep, so, and there's a bit more retaining wall over there, Rob.
I'll have a
and
look
the
at that in
barrier.
a sec.
So,
Yeah, that looks so smart, mate,
yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah, it's coming, isn't it?
Really, really
Got some
tidy.
steps to put up there, and there's probably going to be a porter cabin goes up there, portable office up there later. And then we've got this bit of area here. Dan's just put the first coat of green paint on there.
I know, because we ain't stopped laughing, have we?
Yeah.
Because Dan has actually sprayed that in the wind.
And Dan is now that colour.
Dan is now actually that colour. I've just tried
So
getting him on camera.
He will now always be known as Shrek.
It's Shrek, yeah. He was,
so we've got a bit going on there.
and the pea shingle there for drainage.
Yeah, there's something else going there which
you don't want to mention
not yet.
No, that's
there
all
will be further as it goes along. But yeah, coming.
Obviously the ground's all done. He's got
Yeah,
this has all
drainage.
got drainage right through it now.
Yeah, so yeah, it's good.
No
Good.
more puddles.
Really pleased. No.
And
no.
eventually, I know we're not going to go into it too much, but you did say you're probably going to put a little bit of a tin roof over that.
Yeah,
As a
that's
bit of a carport sort of
yeah,
thing.
and possibly for sandblasting.
Yeah, good
in the
idea.
future.
Yeah.
So I've got, as you know, I've got a 30 CFM petrol-driven compressor.
Yeah.
Which is good for blasting.
They come out the back of a van.
Tyre van, yeah. So I'm going to utilise that space. I think have it open fronted, but just put a bit of a lid on it for blasting.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And the ground up here is all done.
Yeah.
That's all completely finished.
Ready
but
to move the containers on there once I move all the leftovers.
At the moment, it is just storage.
Yeah.
Right, I'm
yeah.
going to have to cut you short there, mate, because I've got MOT booked.
All right,
I'm
mate.
going to head off.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Big van, and honestly, it's so tight. I had to be extra careful driving it here. I don't think I've ever driven a van this big. It is ginormous. Anyway, Andy, the MOT tester here, said it's gone through. There's a little slit in the back tyre, the other side, which is an advisory. But apart from that, it's all good. Let's get back to the yard. So fresh back from the MOT, and of course I've taken it to the Key Street hand car wash to get it cleaned. And even though he's just spraying this here, look how clean that's come up without any shampoo. Now over it with a brush and some shampoo, get it all shined up, and he's even offered to blow out the back half of it for us as well, which is really nice because Chris said he was going to do that but wasn't looking forward to it because it makes a right mess, and a lot of it actually looks like a wax, some sort of wax or a chemical on the floor. But look how lovely that looks.
I just got back to the yard and thought I'd show Chris because I didn't even say I was going to stop and get it cleaned.
No, it looks well, doesn't it,
It
Rob?
looks really nice.
Yeah, that's
I've got
good.
a nice little surprise for you as well.
Oh, doesn't that look better?
I know you was like
Yeah.
didn't really want to do it.
No, well, I'll run out of time, Rob,
Yeah.
if I'm honest. Just
But all that is just a little bit at once mopping up, but
well, we leave it parked on the slope.
and it'll all run out.
It'll
won't
all
it?
run out the back, won't it?
But yeah, come out. Very, very nice.
So MOT all good,
MOT's all good. One advisory, I think it's that back tyre's got a little nick out of it,
right?
but he said nothing to worry about. And I got all them sticker marks off it as well.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't, did I? I didn't. Oh yeah, it's just a cobweb, but I managed to get all them off as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Let's get in that office and crunch the numbers.
Crunch that numbers, mate.
Sat down in the office. It's been a while. And I see Chris has put another sign up there. Prices may vary depending on the attitude of the customer.
I saw that one in a place called Burford in the Cotswolds. I thought that was really good, so
You thought I'm having that?
I'm having that one. Yeah, it made me chuckle, that one.
We are today. It's going to be the first time ever. Chris is going to do the numbers, which is really nice.
Well, if I can read my own writing, Rob.
You'll be all right, mate.
Well, this one's been tricky because
It's been
over
so
a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I actually had to go back to the first video and watch it.
It's a little bit embarrassing, isn't
just
it?
to remind myself what actually
Yeah.
we did do and where you went and got parts and what was new and what wasn't new. So, purchase price, £2,500.
Cheap van.
Cheap van, yeah. Transport was £200.
Expensive. No, that was all right.
Then you got a wishbone and a front strut from
Eurovan.
Yeah,
Or
and that was
Eurovan.
£200 for both of those.
Yeah.
Drive shaft we had to buy new, which was £160.
Yeah.
Wheels and tyres, we've actually had 3, but you bought one for £100 from Euros,
Yeah.
and then 2 for £50 each from where you went the other day.
Yeah.
So we got all 3 owe us £200. Front door was £400.
Oh, they are spiteful for bits, aren't they?
Someone did say to you they break better than they repair.
They do,
We
yeah.
see what they mean now.
Yeah, definitely.
Front wing, £130, new genuine.
From TPS, yeah.
Can't argue with that, can
No.
we? Front bumper was from Eddie.
Just quickly, we couldn't find a second-hand wing for it. There wasn't any available.
I think you did find one with a bit of damage on it, and you said to me about that. It was what, 180 damage.
False
wasn't it?
economy,
Crazy,
yeah.
wasn't it?
Sorry, mate,
Yeah.
to interrupt.
Yeah, bumper from Eddie. Thank you, Eddie, free
Yeah.
of charge. Bumper backing. That was just one side, £35.15.
That's a skeleton, if anyone wants to know, for the inside.
Side loading door.
Now, again, these I got this from a guy in Essex. He breaks a few cars, and he's got 3 or 4 of these vans, and it was him that told us how well they break. And when I asked him for a price on that side loading door, I had to ring you and check it was all right to buy it, rather than repair our door, because it was 600 quid for a side loading door. And I said, is that right? He went, go on the internet and find one. Anyway, I managed to end up having a deal with him, and it worked out it owes us 400 quid.
Yeah, so we're happy with
Yeah.
that. The arch panel, the second-hand cut, which I unpicked, was £125.
Yep.
Then there's a new arch trim on that, bit of plastic, £35.21. Then, same place you was just talking about, you got a rear bumper corner, a rear bumper backing, and a rear light bulb holder. £80 for all 3 of those.
Yeah.
A new brake wear sensor because it had ripped out and pulled the plug off of it.
Yeah, brand new one.
Yeah, £6.83 from the Motor Factors. Bulbs, I think you mentioned £22 for the front DRL and main beam.
That's
It's a
I
combined
never
bulb.
mentioned that's what it was, but you told me it's
Yeah.
actually a DRL without the lights on.
And then it's also a main beam.
Your full beam
Yeah,
bulb, which
it's
is
a twin element.
it's
So
crazy.
that was £22, but I've put 30 because I used a load of bulbs out my tray of bulbs.
Yeah.
Because all the rear light ones were missing.
Bit
weren't they?
fleeced, didn't it? Yeah.
Well, yeah. Wheel splash was £95. Well, it was 94 and a few pennies, but we couldn't find the invoice.
New from TPS. That.
So MOT, you've just had it done
At Josh's.
at Josh's.
Yeah,
One
so-
of the first he's done, I think.
Yeah, Josh is not the tester. There's another guy there, a new guy obviously that does the testing,
Yeah.
and he comes
And
straight
he's
out.
charged us £40 for that, so that was good.
Yeah, which was nice.
Valet you've just had done, £35.
Yeah.
Paint and materials, and I've added on there drills because I used a couple of spot weld drills.
Ah, yeah, we did.
A couple of slitting discs, etc., etc. That spray sealer from Worth, so I've put 120. Bit of a guesstimate.
That's
really.
about right.
And then a number plate you grabbed the other day when you was out for me, so that's £10, and that gives a grand total of.
I'm just going to pause you there just for 1 second. As soon as you hear this price, do not jump on the email and say, I'll have it. Because none of these vehicles are for sale until we're completely happy and they're listed on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just I'm getting
I know.
bombarded with people
Yeah.
saying, well, I want it. Like the X3,
Yeah.
I literally get 3 emails a day saying, I want to buy it, make sure
Or
I
the
get
combo
it. And
van,
it's-
didn't you?
Or the combo van.
Unfortunately, you haven't managed to put any miles on that. The test.
We've just been too
I
busy,
know, it's just,
so, yeah.
But
Sorry, mate.
yeah, that's fine.
Back where you was,
so,
sorry.
So the total is £4,802.19.
What a bargain.
Yeah, it was quite a bit of work in the end, but That's a cheap van. Isn't
That
it?
is a very, very cheap van.
So we've had a look at what they're making, and
11.4.
that was the nearest one you could find. A few miles less, 10,000 less, and that was 11,995, wasn't it?
11.9 or 11.4
Yeah.
995. I
So-
can't remember which.
So we're going to ask £9,000 for it.
That's a cheap van.
18 plate.
Yeah.
That is a cheap van. And fingers crossed we're getting them 2 doors, and they will be put on it in the next few weeks when they arrive. So that's going to give us a pre-tax profit of £4,197.81. Thank you very much.
That's one of our really, really good earners, that van.
Yeah.
Like you said, you put a lot into it, and well done, mate, you did.
Yeah,
I've
it's,
genuinely not lifted a finger on that van because there's nothing there that
No,
I could have got
that's
involved
right,
in.
other than getting the bits. But
You've had to do the whole lot.
that is a lot of bits you've had to find as well.
It is a lot of
And
bits.
it's not a 5-minute job, is it?
It's not, but it looks absolutely cracking.
Yeah.
And like you say, we're going to get a couple of doors on it. And as soon as we do, I am going to put it on Instagram for sale, and it's going to be fastest finger first, reaching out on the old email. And of course, I will put your phone number on there, and I'll call you back if you're successful in the order that they do come in. So that's going to be...
Well, all I can say is anyone that has, on any of the cars, reached out before they're for sale is just that.
Yeah.
Get in first.
Yeah.
If you want it, it'll be on Instagram, won't it?
Yeah.
Just keep following on Instagram.
That's it. A lot of people have ideas that, oh, you should do it this way, you should do it that way. That is our proven way.
Works,
we
doesn't
like it. It
Yeah.
works for us.
Yeah.
And that's the way we're going to stick to. Are you happy with everything?
All good, mate.
That is going to be the end of today's video. If you did enjoy it, we would really appreciate that thumbs up. Stick your comments and your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget, like Chris just said, you can follow us both on Instagram. Salvage Rebuilds for us and Salvage Rebuilds Chris for Chris. Like, subscribe and share, and we'll see you very, very soon in the next one.